Hi everyone. Let's start by taking a nice seat on the mat. Legs could be crossed or long, shoulders heavy and arms relaxed. The face is soft. And just finding your own rhythm of breath. Calm in the inhales, calm in the exhales. We'll start with a little bit of movement here. So just gently now taking the chin down towards the chest, lengthening the back of the neck. And then gently draw the chin up towards the ceiling, lengthening the front. And then slowly taking the chin down. And we'll go side to side, little movements, slow, progressive. Creating some circles, one way and then the other. We'll go on to shoulder rolls, just a few here. Just squeezing the shoulders to the ears, circling back and forth. Very simple, very slow. And then inhale, reaching the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, prayer pose through the heart. Inhaling, reaching arms up, find the length, and then exhaling down. Interlace the fingers and then just push the hands away, round in the back. Inhaling, reaching arms up, pressing the heart slightly forward, and release the hands. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, hands down through the heart center. Interlace and gently push away, round that back. Inhaling, reaching the arms skywards, pressing the heart forwards, and exhale, just release the hands. Inhale, reach arms up, and then exhaling, taking the hands down, interlacing the fingers, and just gently start to round that back. Inhale, reach arms up, and then exhale, just release the hands. And take some circles with the spine next. So hands onto those knees and just rolling the shoulders over those hips, back, far. Very slow, smooth, dynamic movement. And then going the other way, face relaxed, exploring your own range. We're going to make our way next to the first Yin pose. So coming all the way down onto your back. And just for a moment, just hugging those knees into the chest. A few spinal rocks. Head could sway side to side. And then taking the legs long down the mat. Finding that sweet spot. Arms go overhead. And then taking the legs over to the left side of the mat, wiggling the shoulders to the left side. And here we want to resemble a banana shape. You could cross at the ankles, hold onto the wrists. You can create your own shape, maybe hands just even resting on the chest. You choose. Slowly making way out of the pose, bringing the head back to neutral, the legs back to the center, and just holding in this almost shavasana shape. And the rebound of the pose, simply breathing, taking your time. And then we're going to make our way over to the right side of the mat. Legs go to the right, ankles go cross, shoulders to the right, arms in a different position. And once you've found that spot, allow every little muscle in your body to soften. Allow the belly to soften, and the face, the eyes, the jaw. Simply breathing and holding. And gently now making your way out of our Banasana pose. Coming back to a neutral position. And just holding here. No vast movements. Slowly now putting a bend in the knees. Hugging the knees in towards the chest. Having a rock side to side. Massaging that back. And then we're going to hold in this position. A couple of choices of what to do with the hands. Interlacing the fingers. Fingers tucked at the backs of the thighs. Or maybe just holding onto the knees. And in your own time, arriving to stillness. Gently coming back out of this pose, adding soft, subtle movements. Let's take the hands onto the knees and start to create 2 individual circles with the knees. Going out wide, drawing together, wide, drawing together. Again, exploring what feels good, those tight spots. Flowing with the breath. We're going to go for a happy baby pose. So knees towards the chest, the knees go nice and wide. Hooking onto the big toes, and see if you can take the shins either vertical or maybe hooking the feet together if this is possible. Holding maybe onto the ankles. A slight draw down of the hips towards the ground. Back, the neck is nice and long while the chin points towards the chest. The face is relaxed. And just remember to relax those shoulders too. Even though we're holding on to the toes, those shoulders can remain quite active. And just simply breathe. Coming to the end of this hold, releasing the legs, knees to the chest, and take a sway side to side with those knees. Maybe the head rolls side to side. And taking the feet onto the ground, arms out to the sides. The feet could be wide as the mat. And take a breath in, the knees go to the left and head to the right. Knees to the right, head to left. Inhaling center, exhaling knees, draw to the other side. Create this gentle wave, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And then gently now we're going to come all the way up and transition to tabletop. Alignment here where the hands are underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. I'll take a little drop in the belly and then round in the back on the exhale. Inhaling, lifting and lengthening. Exhaling and take a really nice round in that back. Inhale, lifting the sit bones, heart shining forwards. Exhaling and round, maybe chin to the chest a little. Inhaling and exhaling round. And a couple options for the next pose. Toes together, the knees wide, arms long down the mat maybe, heart melting to the ground. Or if it feels comfortable, stacking the hands, resting the forehead on the hands. If you have a bolster handy, take the bolster between the knees. Make sure you feel comfortable. And then taking the chest and the abdomen onto the bolster. Head could turn to one side, but it's always quite nice to turn the head the other way halfway through. But this is your choice. You choose your practice. And once you've set that pose, see if you can just gently start to melt the heart towards the ground. A sense of those hips still drawing back, sides of the body long, the face relaxed, the jaw softens. Next, we're going to take the arms long for a moment and take the forehead towards the ground. Try and lift the nose away from the earth, and we're just going to start to sway the head side to side, just to release any tension in the shoulders and neck, rolling one side to the other. Take your time and just simply breathe. Next, we're going to take a thread of that needle, using the right hand to thread underneath the left, right shoulder towards the earth, cheek maybe resting on the floor. Options to modify with a brick, a blanket. The left hand could wrap around the back body if that feels comfortable. But maybe softening up through the elbow, relaxing the fingers. A gentle amount of weight going through that right shoulder, not too strong. Finding a gentle twist as well, while the back body becomes softer. And just as a reminder is that breath, flowing in and out, just like the waves of the ocean. And slowly now making our way to the other side. Left arm threading underneath that right. You choose what you'd like to do with your arm. Maybe keep it extended. Maybe wrap it behind the back body. The cheek could be resting on that floor or maybe on a brick. And just soften into the pose, releasing, letting go. Starting to unthread ourselves, extending arms down the mat. A breath in, a breath out. And then gently making your way back up to this tabletop position. Any little movements, reawakening up the spine, even coming up into your downward facing dog. We're not looking for perfection, just gentle, easy movements, nice and slow. Coming back down to the knees. Next, we're going to take a sleeping swan pose. Maybe finding a blanket, maybe finding, if you do have a bolster, a block, maybe a pillow. Starting with this tabletop position, I'm going to start with that left leg. Stretch it back And draw that left knee towards that left wrist. Wiggle the foot over to the right slightly. And then extend that right leg back. Have a few little wiggles around those hips. But if you do find that your hip is slightly raised, then maybe prop it with a brick or a blanket. Taking ease of that knee, not putting too much weight through that knee. You want to feel something into the hips, but not that knee. Making sure you feel comfortable. Taking a nice low down, easy position. My head rests on the bolster. Maybe you want to rest your head even lower. But once you find this pose, take your time. It can feel quite strong into the hips, but just simply breathe in and out of the nose. Coming all the way back up now. Removing any blocks. And taking yourself back into tabletop. Awaken those hips. Any little counter poses you might want to do. And I'm going to try for that other side. So right leg going back. Right knee to the right wrist. Wiggle the foot out, not too strongly. And lengthen that back leg back. Maybe use that block to support the hips. And then coming down for your sleeping swan. Let everything soften and relax. Slowly making your way back. Gentle movements. Taking it all the way up to tabletop and then another downward dog. Giving the hamstrings a stretch. We're going to make our way over to a seated pose. Move nice and slow. I'm going to take the legs nice and wide. Reaching for a block or anything that you have handy that can support. And take a block to the right side of your leg. Bending the left knee. Support it with a block. And keeping the spine nice and upright, but we're going to take a little bit of a lean across to the side. The head comes onto the hands. Try not to lose that top shoulder though. Try and keep a slight lift in the heart. If it feels good, you can just gently press into that left knee, just to encourage the knee down, but only on your terms. We're aiming to open up the side body, working into muscle structures such as the quadratus lumborum, or lower back. These can get tight over time. But keep relaxing, especially the face, those toes. Gentle, easy belly breaths. I'm going to come all the way up now. Slowly, slowly coming out of this one. Releasing blocks, extending the leg. I'm going to take it over to the other side, putting a bend in the knee. Just using the blocks to support. Elbow onto the block. Head resting into the hands. And again, just as a reminder, that shoulder still lifting. Targeting that side body. And just find that breath, slowing down. When you're ready, gently making your way back up, nice and slow. Releasing blocks, releasing legs, and just creating a window wipe action with those knees. I'll take the soles of the feet together next. Knees nice and wide, pulling the fleshy bits of the buttocks backwards. There's a couple of options here. You could just take your fold, especially if the back and those hips are okay. But maybe you need to add a bit of support, blocks underneath the hips, bolster underneath the knees. Test it out before you hold. A firm favourite of mine is to take a block between the feet and bolster if you have it, and create this little support. Leaning the chest onto the bolster, allowing those knees to relax, but no force. Try to relax around the hands if you can, not gripping, just softening. Shoulders relaxing and just breathing. And when you're ready now, gently lifting the head, coming all the way back. Releasing your bolster to the bottom of the mat. Remove blocks. Reach for a cushion or something soft. Maybe a blanket if you have that with you. I'm going to come down to a supported shavasana. The knees could rest on the bolster. The head on a nice comfy pillow. Arranging the hips, the clothes, everything to be extra comfy today. Once you've had those essential wiggles on your mat, allow your legs to soften. Allow the arms to become heavy and your head to soften. And just for a few moments as everything starts to slow down even more now, as you breathe in, maybe you can imagine that breath can travel up through the left arm to the heart center, and then exhaling down through the right to the fingertips, inhaling up through the right to the heart center, exhaling down through the left, inhaling up through the left to the heart, exhaling down through the right to the fingers, inhaling up through and exhaling down through. And when you're ready, just allowing your breath to settle in its own rhythm. Taking some circles with the hands and toes, stretching, soft, gentle movements. Hugging knees to chest, having a soft rock side to side. Coming onto your right and just rest there for